go like, yes, honey, yes. How do we make space for our feminine power? And the thing about it is, for us strong women, we really have to create space because we go so easily into our masculine energy. And our masculine energy is the doingness of things, you know? And even when I'll be talking, like I did the self-care workshop last week, and one of the very first assignments was put 2 hours of nothing on your calendar. And everybody was like, ah! You are not putting it on your calendar. It's just a matter of being really in that energy. So the reason, and I'm so glad you two did, the reason you'll put those 2 hours on your calendar is so that you are creating that space for your feminine power. And I always can't, I feel like femininity, one of the first words that I think of is I think of feminine power. And years ago, my husband and I went to a workshop because we were learning about the masculine and feminine energy. And one of the things they were saying is that the masculine energy has to create container for the feminine energy, which is, for example, where my idea is always going to be, let's plan, let's do this. But if he comes to me and says, we're going to leave the house at 6 and this is what you wear, then I'm like cool, chilling. I'm not wondering like, what time are we going to leave? Oh, should we leave now? Or what should I wear? I don't have to get into that checklist of things. I'm just like, here I am. I've arrived. I'm getting in the car at 6 and I'm looking fly and comfortable. I'm not wondering, do I need to bring a jacket? What type of shoes should I wear? Are we gonna be walking? Am I gonna be at the valet? Am I gonna do this? And that type of energy is masculine energy. So when we think about our feminine power, it is really in the beingness of your character. That's when you're resting in femininity, it's where you're in that just being, and you're able to attract the things that you want versus I'm going to do this so I can attract the things that I want. But we all have both feminine and masculine energy. But I don't know if many of y'all, because I know I run into masculine energy a lot, like, you know, setting the schedule, working, what I'm going to work in, what's my to-do list, who am I managing, my clients, I got to tell them this, or my assistants, I got to give them this. And that's a very energetically, it's masculine. It's not male, female. When we're talking about masculine, feminine energy, it's just that there is this energy of a flow. And one of the best ways to call upon the masculine energy in your life to be able to attract other masculine energy that you're interested in attracting is to rest in your feminine power. And it's giving you the peace. One, it gives you peace. You can just be. But if we are here for ourselves, knowing that we encompass both, then we're going to create the space for it. It's like, how can I create space for my feminine power? Oh, scheduling the not a rat race of my life in my calendar. Scheduling the time to have peace in my calendar. Also, creating containers in your work environment. So creatively, that's our feminine power. Strategically, that's our masculine power. So if we're feeling like I'm not being that creative right now, or I'm having writer's block right now, then it would be great for you to create a strategy. You would create a strategy, a strategy for you to have time and space to create creatively. Does that make sense? So if you're like, I need creative space, a lot of times we're waiting to be hit on the head to have creativity. A lot of times that's what we're waiting for. But in this time and in this space, what we do is we create the space for creativity to show up. So it's the masculine energy that's setting up the strategy, creating a container of time, and the feminine energy that is showing up into the space. And that is a very powerful energy to encompass when you finally do, is where you're just resting in your own time in your space. And I feel like just touching on that a little bit, I wanted to bring that to attention because it always comes to mind of being able to rest is so empowering. And it's a practice, and it's hard. It is hard to often let that energy flow. Yes, it is. I see head shaking. It is hard to let that energy flow. It is hard to be able to sit and just allow things. I mean, it's hard for me. My husband and I have been going on walks every day, And it's hard for me. I be leading. I be like turning down the street. I'm 10 paces ahead of them. But today I practice just being like half a step behind them. And I'm telling you, my brain was like, can a brother just speed up? Can he just do this? Is he gonna have to turn? And I had to go feminine energy of relaxation. And when I finally just relaxed in it, I was able to chill and look at the birds and look at the bees. There were birds and bees, and just look at the flowers, you know, so I was able to really just relax in that and not have to be like head on swivel, because my head is on swivel. I'm pacing myself, but I'm finding ways in my life to practice my beingness. And if you have awareness for it, then you can find those places where you're like, I'm gonna practice just being. And sometimes you might have seen that when you go to like a party or something and you see people are still setting up, and you be like, why didn't they do that? Why are they not doing that? They should be doing this. Oh, I know they could set that up quicker. Oh, and your brain is doing all of that. That isn't resting in your beingness. And I think, yeah, it's not resting in your beingness. And I know if you're anything like me, half of y'all are like, yeah, I have had those thoughts before. So just to activate that reticular activating, what'd you say, Kay?
I didn't know I wasn't on mute. You just read me. Oh my goodness. I gotta put myself on mute.
That's okay. I usually mute all of y'all, but that's good. That is okay. So I wanted to just activate that system in us to just be aware, because what'll happen now is when it does happen, you'll be like, oh, that's happening. Just relax, sit in this, sit in my feminine power. And you'd be amazed if you do that, even like at a party or at an event, when you take the chatter out of your mind, people gravitate to you. Men, women, people gravitate to you because you have a level of peace. And I always say, when you have peace, guys want a piece of you. So you want to, meaning they just want a piece of you, not like want your piece, but want a piece of you. And I know I said that crazy, and this is gonna go on the intranets, but you know, it's leading people into a sanctuary, and it starts first with you, leading yourself into a sanctuary. So that is just what I wanted to talk about today, is just to bring that up, to remind us. Some of you may have heard this before or studied that before, but I wanted to just remind us all to just activate our feminine power by taking those little steps. And sometimes we want to, we want to take advantage of that skill that we have of our masculine energy by creating space for our feminine strength. Does that make sense? Like if we were out dating and dating someone's like, oh, you have to create this for her. And so it's like, just think of yourself as dual, because we all have different variations, different combinations of feminine, masculine energy. That's what makes us all unique. But I would love for us just to remember that. It's always a reminder for myself. And I want to leave y'all with that, because you are beautiful, wonderful beings that encompass both feminine and masculine energy. So I'm going to open it up. What'd you say?
Repeat that again, that last part you just said?
I don't remember what I just said. I was saying that we're all a combination. We all encompass both feminine and masculine energy, and we're all a different combination of it. I think that's what I said, but I do have it recorded, so I'll make sure you get it.
You also said we were wonderful.
Yes, that's what I said. I said y'all is amazing. That's what I said. But as we always do, it's time for us to open up the floor for our girlfriends chat.